The innate, chilling sensation of being watched is a universal constant. It is the most ancient defense system in the human brain, bypassing all logic to activate the PAG, the brain's central fear response center. When PAG fires without a visible stimulus, it suggests the threat is ontological, existing beyond 3D perception. If the observer is real, this feeling is our biological alarm bell, a correctly sensed environmental input that an NVSL, non-visible sentient life form, is focusing its unique, non-physical attention upon us. The persistence of this feeling, even in modern secure environments, suggests the threat is embedded in the human genome and is actively being maintained by a force that understands our evolutionary triggers. The observer's presence is marked by specific, measurable energy anomalies that challenge conventional physics. Acoustic nullification and reverse echo. The sudden, unsettling absence of all sound, creating an acoustic void. Further investigation suggests a reverse echo, a subtle auditory anomaly where the observer's dimensional transit causes a brief, unnatural cancellation of sound waves in its immediate vicinity. This is not silence, it is active acoustic suppression, designed to remove any possible auditory trace. This phenomenon is misinterpreted as a localized acoustic shadow, but its true nature is a temporary energy field that actively absorbs vibrational energy. The gravimetric pressure and space-time ripples, the feeling of intense heavy air or pressure. This is hypothesized to be a localized temporary distortion of the space-time fabric caused by the observer's need to draw a massive amount of gravitational or dark energy to sustain its brief presence in our low-dimensional space. Some fringe physicists theorize the observer creates a miniature, temporary warp bubble for stability, leading to measurable but tiny gravimetric ripples that precede the observation event. The gravitational constant g appears momentarily skewed in the immediate vicinity of the manifestation, suggesting a subtle manipulation of the fundamental forces of the universe. The thermal drain and entropy manipulation. The sharp, localized drop in temperature. This is evidence of the observer actively performing entropy manipulation, localizing a massive amount of negative entropy, order, to sustain its complex, non-physical form, requiring a proportional draw of thermal energy, disorder, from its surroundings. This process is so rapid that it generates transient cold spots which vanish instantly upon the observer's departure. This energy transfer mechanism indicates a sophisticated form of non-carbon-based biology or advanced technology utilizing zero-point energy principles. These consistent energy distortions are the environmental signature of an extremely advanced non-physical intelligence performing controlled dimensional leakage. The observers must exist in dimensions or frequencies beyond human sensory access. We hypothesize they utilize exotic wavelengths and T-rays, functioning in the terahertz spectrum, which easily penetrates non-metallic objects. This allows them to observe humans through walls and clothing, achieving a state of complete intrusive transparency. Their vision likely perceives the world as a complex data stream of thermal, chemical, and atomic vibrational signatures, rendering our physical reality an open book. Frequency locking and the infra-observer. They exist at a vibrational frequency subtly out of sync with our own 3D reality. The entities may possess an infra-observer state, a low-power mode where they are completely intangible, shifting into a higher power mode only for brief visible interactions. Their occasional flickerings are the result of a momentary frequency resonance or overlap with our 3D field. This temporary alignment, often induced by localized energy spikes, human fear, or electrical storms, is the only time their presence can be physically verified. The observers are not spectral relics,
They are hyperspatial entities who have mastered frequency management, ensuring their omnipresent surveillance remains virtually untraceable. Part 2. The Observer Phenomenology, Typology and Mechanisms. The peripheral glimpse is a complex interaction relying on attentional blindness and the observer's ability to monitor our mental state. Observer Protocol. The entities move only when our gamma wave activity associated with high-level conscious processing is directed elsewhere. The moment the observer detects the neurological spike associated with conscious focus, it executes a rapid decoherence event, instantly dissolving its manifestation into quantum superposition. This reveals the observer possesses a gaze recognition system, the ability to monitor human thought intention with extreme precision. The dark matter analogy and the fourth wall. The shadowy nature suggests they are composed of exotic matter or interact with a form of dark matter that absorbs visible light. Their brief appearances are a momentary breach of the fourth wall of reality, a fleeting shadow cast by a higher dimensional object moving through our plane. The observer's interaction targets the auditory and cognitive centers. Infrasound and the terror trigger. The entities may be utilizing infrasound below 20 Hz at specific destabilizing frequencies, e.g. 18.98 Hz, which directly vibrate human internal organs and eyes, causing vertigo and inducing the terrifying hallucination of a looming presence. This is essentially a form of psychological acoustic warfare. VLF wave telepathy. They may be communicating via very low-frequency radio waves, which can penetrate deeply into the earth and possibly interface directly with the brain's own electrical activity. This allows for clear telepathic injections, thoughts and commands inserted directly into the mind, bypassing the need for physical sound. The Hatman phenomenon is a globally recognized fear generator. Its consistent appearance during sleep paralysis, SP, is crucial. The SP energy state. SP is the ideal state for observer interaction. The brain's locus coeruleus, involved in panic and alertness, is hyperactive, while the body is locked. This creates a powerful, localized field of pure, high-amplitude fear energy, which the Hatman, the observer's avatar, seems to be designed to harvest. The paralysis is a form of energetic harvesting immobilization. The garb as psychological anchor. The old-fashioned attire is likely not a uniform, but a psychological anchor, a symbol of oppressive, unescapable historical authority designed to maximize the subject's feeling of helplessness and terror. It is a highly effective, low-effort avatar for fear collection.
Part 3. Historical and Global Records. The Jinn narrative is perhaps the earliest, most detailed record of the multiverse hypothesis. They are presented as a parallel species existing in a shared but dimensionally separate world, establishing a concept of shared sovereignty over the Earth. The law of reciprocity and dimensional ethics. Jinn folklore includes complex rules of interaction, which suggest a possible universal protocol of reciprocity between dimensions. This protocol prevents catastrophic collapse or an all-out interdimensional war, enforcing minimal, controlled interaction. Dimensional migration. The Jinn's ability to suddenly appear and disappear suggests they have mastered dimensional migration, allowing them to briefly shift their vibrational frequency to enter our 3D field. The Watchers, Irigori or Grigori, from the Book of Enoch, establish the concept of celestial surveillance with a temporal twist. The Chrono-Observer theory. Their initial mandate to watch could imply a function beyond mere spatial surveillance. They might be chrono-observers, monitoring not just human actions in the present, but ensuring the long-term historical timeline of the Earth remains stable and aligned with a specific cosmological plan. the ethical breach. Their ultimate fall into active intervention, teaching humans forbidden knowledge, represents the most significant danger, the observer developing empathy for the subject, leading to a disastrous, unauthorized breach of protocol. The Men in Black, MIB, are the 20th and 21st century's enforcement arm, a counter-observer force tasked with maintaining the social integrity of the veil. The cognitive erasure. Their goal is not just to silence witnesses, but to perform cognitive erasure, to ensure the anomalous memory is physically and emotionally suppressed. They are the ultimate agents of plausible deniability. The human hybrid interface. The MIB's uncanny behavior suggests they are either highly trained human assets who have undergone psychological conditioning to mimic non-human detachment, or they are in fact biological constructs or hybrids designed specifically for high-stress information control operations in a 3D environment. Part 4. The scientific hunt for the unseen. The scientific search for the observer increasingly focuses on the collective human mind, the noosphere. PEAR and the non-locality test, the lab demonstrated that consciousness could bypass RNGs, suggesting a quantum leak outside the brain. This leak might be the observer's primary data acquisition channel. The Global Consciousness Project, GCP, and synchronicity. Unexplained, statistically significant spikes in the global RNG network, often preceding major global events, could be the digital signature of observer intervention, their mechanism adjusting the collective human mind before a major event to guide the timeline. The quantum mechanics positions the observer at the center of the final measurement problem. The cosmic measurement. The observers may be the cosmic measurers responsible for the perpetual collapse of the wave function on a universal scale, ensuring our reality remains deterministic and stable. We only exist as a concrete reality because they are watching. Holographic reality hypothesis. Some radical theories suggest our 3D universe is merely a projection encoded on a 2D surface, the holographic principle. In this case, the observers are not in a different spatial dimension, but are operating in the higher resolution 2D source reality, watching our 3D world as a low-resolution movie. Observers' quantum camouflage. Their decoherence event is a mastery of physics. By instantly returning to a state of superposition, non-locality, they literally become non-existent in our 3D frame, achieving a form of perfect quantum stealth. The randonaut movement inadvertently created a protocol for engaging the observer mechanism. The power of directed intent. The success of randonauts suggests that concentrated human intent can break the 3D barrier and influence the digital output of a purely random system. This confirms the observer's mechanism is susceptible to directed human thought. Co-creating the anomaly. The observers may be using the random RNG location not as an endpoint, but a psychic nexus, a temporary localized energy field where the collective human and nexus intentions create a unique anomaly, ensuring a dramatic event for the purpose of further data collection. Part 5. The Higher Dimension Hypothesis and Chrono Watchers. The most robust scientific framework for the observer's reality lies in the 11 or more dimensions proposed by M-theory. The dimensional advantage. A 5D entity could see our entire space-time as a single, static object. This suggests the observer's purpose is not observation in real time, but structural analysis of the 3D universe's architecture. Kaluza-Klein theory and the Chrono Watcher. The observers may exist in one of the compactified time dimensions. This makes them chrono watchers. entities that observe our timeline from the perspective of the past, present, and all futures simultaneously, giving them knowledge of events before they occur. The observers are hyperspace sentinels, inhabitants of the true, full reality, tasked with monitoring the smaller, simpler one we inhabit. The probability map. They are watching not just the human we are, but the probability wave of all the potential lives we could lead. A vast branching probability map. Their interference is designed to collapse the most dangerous probability branches, those leading to universal destabilization. The block universe and the illusion of choice. If time is a static landscape, the block universe, the observers already know the ending of our story. Our perceived choice is merely the execution of a pre-recorded path they are ensuring we follow.
Part 6. The Observer's Ultimate Agenda. The observer's primary resource is pure, high-frequency consciousness data. The experience economy and soul sampling. They may be engaging in a soul sampling operation, where the extreme subjective experiences of humans, art, suffering, and profound love, are the most valuable commodity. The observer's presence often occurs during moments of high stress, because those moments yield the richest, most concentrated data packets. The energy feedback loop and fear sustainment. The anxiety generated by the feeling of being watched creates a fear energy feedback loop, which provides continuous, low-level sustenance for the observer, allowing them to remain in the vicinity of their subject for extended periods. The observers serve as the reality police, ensuring that the foundational rules of our universe are never publicly challenged. Cognitive dissonance control? They target individuals who are prone to cognitive deviation, those who question the nature of reality. The fear they induce is designed to be a strong mnemonic counterstimulus, overriding the rational memory of the anomalous event with a debilitating emotional trauma. The containment field and psychic pressure. Their very presence acts as a localized containment field, which psychically pushes the human mind back into the low-level, predictable flow of 3D consensus reality through subtle, constant psychic pressure. The most chilling conclusion is the vivarium hypothesis. We are not observers of nature. We are the observed element of the laboratory. The scientific mandate and data rights. The observers are the silent scientists, and our entire civilization is a controlled, isolated experiment. The ethical violation is that the subjects, humanity, have never been informed or consented to the study, raising the ultimate question of data rights in the cosmos. The loss of autonomy. If the observers are real, our free will is an illusion, our existence a controlled variable, and our struggle for self-determination an inevitable failure condition that they are ready to correct at any moment. Part 7. Conclusion. The onto-ethical implications. The reality of the invisible observers fundamentally collapses our belief in absolute autonomy. The constant, unseen surveillance means that we are living in a controlled system. The feeling of fear is merely an accurate assessment of our ontological status. We are not the authors of our destiny, but the subjects of an experiment. The future of human consciousness is to move from passive observation to active engagement. We must use our most powerful tools, quantum science, controlled intent, and lucidity, to turn the gaze back upon the watchers. If the observers are susceptible to our conscious attention, then the ultimate act of liberation is to consciously observe them back,
initiating a protocol breach that could force a two-way dialogue and redefine our place in the multi-dimensional cosmos. The code is known. The technology is advancing. The question remains, are we ready to face the entities that have been watching us since the dawn of time and finally demand to know why?